Right, there's one more act of the evening. It's Adam Anwar. Make him feel welcome. Make some noise for Adam Anwar.
Hiya. So, yeah, one person back. So, as you just heard, my name's Adam Anwar, and with a name like that, and a skin tone like this, raises a lot of questions. But usually when I first meet people, they don't want to say anything because they don't want to come across like a little bit too forward, or a little bit Tommy Robinson. But after a few weeks, he'd be like, Adam, you know your name, where's it from? So I'll break it down for him. I said, name's from my dad, and my dad's from Pakistan. But they're like, whoa, Pakistan, but you don't, you know. You don't look Pakistanish. Now, this just opens up a whole can of worms, because then I have to explain my mum, she's from Poland. Now it just blows their minds that a Muslim and an Eastern European would get together and create the living embodiment of UKIP's nightmare. Yeah, glad you laughed at that one, Liverpool. I think we're going to get along well. You see, I told that joke in Stoke 2 weeks ago. My love, they did not find it funny. You see, I don't know what you know about Stoke besides it being a massive shithole, but... Yeah, exactly. I found out that night, it's a proper UKIP town. So I'm there on stage like living embodiment of UKIP's nightmare. And they were like... And? Tell us some jokes, you white packy bastard, or fuck off. It was rough, man, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to have a word. And my mum did promise not to heckle me again, so... Yeah, it was interesting growing up, though, with all that going on, because my parents, they treated me like I was some kind of religious competition. So mum would be like, Adam, you should be a Catholic, because we've got Christmas. And my dad would be like, no, you should be a Muslim, because we've got... what the fuck have we got? Circumcision. You're laughing, but I'm confused as fuck. Because one year they decided to compromise, and for Christmas... Yeah, I got a circumcision. The ironic thing about that joke is if there's anything I would have needed on a cold December morning, it's probably a hood. So I'm a Muslim comedian, right? And when you're a Muslim comedian, people expect you to have opinions on Muslim issues. So they'll invite you on like radio shows, podcasts, that kind of thing. And they'll ask you the same kind of questions all the time. And recently what it was Shamima Begum. Yeah? Yeah. A couple of you know where I'm going maybe with this, who she is. If you've forgotten who she is, it was the ISIS bride, right? And all the conversation was around, was she allowed back? Or... should she have to stay where she is? But I'll be honest with you all, every time someone asks me, I just give them the same answer. I don't have a strong opinion either way. I just think she's a little bit naive. Because if football's not coming home, she's got no chance, has she? Then all these new pictures of her started to appear over the lockdown. Did you see them? You know, where she's dressed all westernised, dodgy hoodie on, backwards cap. It looked like she'd rubbed herself in glue and then been kicked backwards through Primark. And all the young lads started to share this picture like, wow, look at her, she's well fit. You can deport her back to my house any day. So I've come up with a compromise. Why don't we put Shamima Begum in the next series of Love Island? Yeah, if she wins, she can come back. But if she doesn't, well, it's probably going to be the most explosive season they ever have. And then when she's done with them, she can go to Prince Andrew's Love Island and sort them dickheads out too. Yeah, man. But my parents, I mentioned the circumcision thing before, right? Like, it blows my mind that there's doctors out there who do circumcisions for a job. Because you still got to go all the way through medical school to do that. And I picture them all sat around when they're deciding the specialisms. There's a guy like, I'm going to be a brain surgeon. There's a woman like, I'm going to be a heart surgeon. And then one weird one like, I think I'm going to snip a few dicks, I think. Then I thought about it a little bit more and I realised doctors who do circumcisions, it's a lot like being a waiter. It is. Because one, you're handling somebody else's meat all day. Two, you got to have a firm grip. And three, at the end of your shift, you get to take home all the tips. So it's a very similar job. My parents, they kept up this religious competition, right? They kept it up. My mum was like, Adam, you do realise that if you become a Muslim, you have to bow your head 5 times a day in prayer. And my dad heard her, and quick as a flash, he was like, she's right. But if you become a Catholic, you're going to have to bow your head once a week. In front of a priest. Now, I'll be honest with you, Hot Water, I sacked that one right off. Because it left a very, very sour taste in my mouth. Yeah, you're not happy. Imagine how happy I was with it. Huh. Yeah, man. My parents get involved in all my business. They get involved in all my business. Personal business, business, whatever it is. Personal business, yeah? My dad calls me up over lockdown. He says, Adam, I need you to come home after work. It's important. So I rush to Mum and Dad's house. This is peak COVID, and I'm like, Mum and Dad are getting old. I'm thinking, I hope they're not sick. So I get to Mum and Dad's house, and he sits me down. There. And he's looking right into my eyes. He says, Adam, it's time that you settle down. I want you to have an arranged marriage to one of your cousins. I wasn't fucking laughing. And the thing is, I always kind of knew this moment was coming, but it was only sat right there where he's looking right into my eyes from a foot away that I truly understood what it meant to him. So I said, you know what, Dad? I'll do it under one condition. He said, what's that? I said, if I've got to marry one of my cousins, please pick one of the Polish ones because they're well fitter. Yeah, I thought I was smart, but now I'm married to my cousin Pavel, so... say what you want, he's a good kisser, our Pavel. Yeah, man, but yeah, it's tough getting a job nowadays as well, post-COVID world, especially with a Muslim surname. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to do the typical Asian thing. And I went self-employed, but I'm still half Polish, so I only pay myself minimum wage. At least that's what I tell HMRC anyway. And when my parents found out I was going self-employed, they were like, my dad was like, fantastic, please do something that benefits the Asian community. And Mum was like, why can't you do something that benefits the Polish community? So if anyone knows any curry houses that need cleaning, yeah, come see me afterwards. You might have picked up from the accent, I'm not from around here. I'm from Bolton. I'll take by that resounding applause that you gave it. You all love Bolton. Very familiar with it already. If you're not, I'll catch you up, right? From Bolton, we got 2 famous Olympians. First off, Amir Khan. 2004 Olympics, Britain sent 1 boxer, and it was little 17-year-old Amir Khan. He went all the way to Athens, Greece, and he won a silver medal. And we've also got Jason Kenny, the cyclist, and he's won more gold medals than any Briton who's ever lived. And if anything explains Bolton, it's those 2 blokes. Because where I live, you're either getting in a fight or trying to get away from it as quick as possible. We've also got 2 major brands from Bolton. Reebok started there. Warburton started there. I'm not going to make an inbred joke, but I know you're all thinking it. And about a decade ago, the government gave our local council a couple £1 million. They said, do what you want with the money, but make the town a little bit better. And what they did is they built this beautiful white archway. They spent all their budget on it, and they named it the Gateway to Bolton. The only problem is this beautiful white archway is on a one-way street. Heading out of fucking Bolton. My favourite thing about that story is it doesn't even tell you the full picture, because as you get to the end of that road, there's an old church which has now been converted into a block of flats because Bolton is so deprived that even God is renting out his spare room for a bit of extra cash. People always ask me, how did it come to be? How did you end up in Bolton? So I'll quickly fill you in that story too. My granddad, born small village in Poland, and he stayed there until he was a teenager. And then one day this German organisation rolled into town. And they said, Stanley, why don't you come to work for us for free forever. And he said, well, Mr. German, you got guns and tanks. I don't think I've got a choice. And they took him to Nazi Germany, where they kept him all the way through the war until one day his salvation came when the Americans arrived and they liberated his camp. And they said, Stanley, what you've been through is terrible. We're going to help you set your life up in one of 4 places. Option number 1, you can stay in Germany. He said, well, Mr. American, option number 1 can go fuck itself. What else have you got? He said, okay, option number 2, you can go back to Poland. He said, well, the Germans have ruined Poland. There's nothing to go back to. They've just destroyed it all. Okay. Option number 3, east coast of America. Or option number 4, you can go anywhere you want in the UK. And my granddad chose to go to Bolton. I could be doing this with some kind of cool New York accent now, but instead I sound like this, so 1-0 granddad, I suppose. But yeah, that's my granddad, isn't it? That's parents for you, that's family. What can you do? What can you do? Just always getting involved in stuff, And they raised me weird. I don't know if that's coming across, but they raised me weird. But now I've got a daughter of my own. And I named her Leia, inspired by my favourite film, Layer Cake. I love that film, man. And she comes running up to me the other day. She's like, Daddy, you know when you and Mummy were having me, did you want me to be boy? Or did you want me to be girl? And I said, well, Leia, I wanted your mum to swallow, to be honest with you. But we don't always get what we want, do we? Now, fuck off and play with your brother. Return of the Jedi. I like you guys. You all right? Yeah. One guy's all right. At least I like to check that towards the end of the set, especially as a Muslim comedian. I don't want it to feel like a, terrorist situation where this guy's got us against our will. Well, yeah. Don't know if I've had my light, maybe. So I'll do one more and I'm going to get off. So there's been a lot of talk in the press recently about having a new James Bond. And they've been saying that maybe it's going to be a black James Bond. Idris Elba's been mentioned. I think Idris will make a brilliant James Bond, right? But I don't think we should have a black James Bond. Because I think we should have a Pakistani James Bond. Because that'd be well better for me. Moneypenny would call him up and he'd be like, yeah, cuzzy, what's happening? It's like, Bond, there's an emergency. We need you in London tomorrow. He'd be like, I can't. My cousin's getting married, innit? On Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We got a lot of cousins and Asian weddings are bare long, right? So, okay, Bond, that's fine. We'll send you a car on Thursday. Like banging, but keep the Aston Martin. Send me a Rangy, bro. But I think the reason that people don't want a black James Bond is because people are scared of change. With a Pakistani James Bond, there's not much that you have to change. Like, first off, womanizing white women. Pakistanis love that. But also, the theme tune. Like, it's almost perfect already, right? But there are a few things that he would change. Like, first off, he'd go to the bar. He'd be like, listen, I don't want a martini. It's haram, innit? Give me a Coke. Whoa, don't shake it, dickhead. These are new trainers. What are you playing at? But there's also Bond girls. This has been in the press for years as well. Why are Bond girls overly sexualized? So a Pakistani James Bond, boom, changed. Should be coming out of the water. Full length burqa on. Everyone will be looking at the ankles like, oh my God, who is this mysterious goddess? And as she gets to the shore, she slides the face veil away. She swam all the way from Calais at Shamima Begum. All right, my name is Anwar. Thank you very much.